tough week in Vincent?
You know what? It's a really good mix. I really like the kids that we got out of the portal. The new guys have done a really good job of buying into the culture, being good teammates, like becoming a part of the room. Also new are those young kids, and I've just been excited about them. I mean, they're hungry, they're talented, they're learning every day. There's a lot of coaching going in our room from player to player, which as a coach is really fun to watch. Kind of seeing guys take ownership and trying to help the young guys, or discussing how to do that, or I like this, or what's worked for me, kind of thing. So it's been a fun room. It's been really different because it's either really old or really young. You know, there's not a lot of kids right there in the middle.
Coach Simpson, you got 17 days till kickoff for a real game that counts. Is that plenty of time, or not near enough time, or somewhere in the middle?
You know, maybe both. You know, you can't wait to get to it, but you also know all the things you want to accomplish to be ready before you get to it, and they're both, you know, create stress in a good way, in the sense of there's a sense of urgency of what's coming, and I probably know more than the kids do. And so whether it's situationally learning what to do, combinations of playing guys together, you know, young guys being ready and understanding the moments in the game and how things change and how they're different based on time left, based on down and distance, you know, based on call. But certainly, man, you don't want to wish your life away, but you can't wait for that first game. That's always the same.
But maybe across the board athletically and the potential, where does this group rank, maybe compared to your previous couple of groups?
I think it's a unique mix. There's some size and girth, maybe. There's some depth that we hadn't had. There's some twitch with some young guys, and some movement ability. So I think what I like about this room, number one, is the depth. I like the ability that's going to be developed. You know, the biggest spot we're in right now is figuring out the players. You know, I always talk about learn the learner and how to feature the guys. And it's really fun to see, okay, after a few weeks of summer ball, going, okay, we're going to be able to feature you this way, and we're going to be able to feature you this way, and we're still trying to figure out how we're going to feature you. And each guy, that's individual. It's not cookie cutter. They're made different. They have different bodies. They have different skill sets. Certain things we have to do, they're all the same. But in other ways, man, it is about figuring out how do I feature this guy and where his best game comes to light.
And for Christian, how's he doing, and what are your expectations for him now that he's full-time?
Yeah, you know, he's worked hard in the transition. You know, and if you've ever done it, which, you know, move from backer to D end or from D end to D tackle, man, those moves are just, in some ways, it's lights, you know, just so different. You know, so he's done a really good job of trying to own, like, okay, because things just happen so fast. You hit blocks in less than half a second. You're reacting to pressure. You're reacting to color. You're moving and making, you know, and reacting off the next blocker. Like it comes at you really, really fast. Different from playing off the ball or different from playing on the edge. So I think he's done a really, really good job. He's learning. He's come a long way, and he has a long way to go. But big hopes and aspirations for him.
Coach, I want to just ask you a little bit about, I know you have some big time treasures coming in, but I want to ask about Vincent Carroll Jackson. Just tell us a little about how he's been performing in the fall camp and some things he's been able to do.
I tell you, the encouraging thing for Vince is I think Vince, his game, like, has really come to life the last 3 weeks, and I think we're really going to be able to know how to feature him. He's a kid who knows how to get vertical. He actually he's got some initial quickness to him. And I think, you know, with Boogie and what he wants to do up front, like, I think there's a way to, you know, allow that kid to really help us and create some havoc in the backfield.
What has stood out to you about Kristen Speakman so far in camp?
Speakman has, you know, probably been a huge surprise since January. Wasn't heavily recruited. We're really excited he's on our football team. Very, very talented young man. And in saying that, like, he's still a true freshman. You know, he has a lot to learn, but he has a lot of natural instinct for understanding how to fight blocks, play blocks, fight pressure, plays with his hands for his age and his experience at an above average level. And I expect big things out of him his freshman year. But, you know, he's still just a freshman. So, but excited about him.
I wanted to ask you about two of your returning guys. Shameik seems like he's really kind of leveled up where he is, and then Landon, the guy who went in the portal briefly, came back out.
Yeah.
It seemed like that kind of triggered something in him, and he seems to be coming on his way.
Yeah. Start with Shameik. Shameik for me, man, is like he's unique. He's like a glue guy in the room. He's an old soul. He is very fundamental. Extreme. I remember working him out years ago when I was at another school at a camp, and like he's a big basketball player, super athlete, very bendy, and he is really taken to like so for those guys, to me, playing D tackle, the physical part of the game is the hardest transition, and just watching his progression over the last few years, and then watch what he did at the end of the year in a couple of those last games and the way he played, he's come a long way. I'm really, really proud of him, and there's more to go for him. And he's very versatile. You can play him a lot of places. Very smart, very savvy, very good for the room.
And Landon?
Landon, for me, Landon, I thought, is probably last week was one of the better weeks he's had. So he sees the room. He sees some old guys, they're in front of him. He sees some young guys that are coming and pushing who want playing time. And I think that's been, the competition for our room, honestly, has been unbelievable. And the guys look around and they know it. And they can recognize, those young guys making plays and playing blocks against our ones and go, well, okay, like this room is real and there's real competition here. So I think it's been good for all of us, and especially him.
What stood out to me about the defensive line is there's a lot of depth this season. How much does that allow you to be more aggressive in rotation and keep guys fresh throughout games?
Well, obviously a lot. Like if you watch us play, everywhere I've been the last 10 years, I believe like there is a feel for how to play guys. And I believe this, man, when guys are fresh, their ball looks good and they play really, really fast. The best players in any league, when they get tired, it's bad. I mean, it's just, they don't play. I mean, it's not as good. It's not what it could be. And if I can get a room that's 4, 5, 6 deep, I'm going to fight like crazy to play all those guys and have them fresh. And in saying that, it's hard to play 5 and 6. It's hard to play 5 in the 6th one. So, but that's a good thing. You have depth, you have competition. But idealistically, you want your best players out there when it's money time, or certainly in the game, in the winning time moments, situationally. But I'm excited about the depth we're creating for sure.
That's a follow-up, and you sort of addressed it right there. Is there an ideal number? I know ideal is a strange concept, but is there an ideal number for the number of guys in the rotation?
I mean, it's twofold. You want to keep guys fresh, but you want to get guys in a groove too. If you got a good player and he's not playing enough snaps in a row, it's hard to find that rhythm in a game. So it's really having a feel and a balance for how is the game going. Has our offense been out there for 12 plays, or was it 3 and out and punt? And like having a feel for seeing their faces on the sideline, So a lot of that is just kind of, to me, the feel for the game as a coach, coaching your guys and having a feel for what they need and what they do best and where they're at in those moments.
Thank you.
Coach, you just had your first fall scrimmage. Obviously, you have another one later this week.
Yeah.
This is a big one before you have game prep. But
Yep.
where do you want to see this defensive line group before the end of the week or before you guys kind of get into the season?
Yeah, that's easy. Last week, man, our Tuesday, Wednesday practices, kind of like today, like I was so excited for parts of those practices and the improvement that I'm seeing. We got to take it between the white lines, like drills to field, the white line theory. Like these guys, we got to go out in a scrimmage game, and I need to see all that work that these guys put in. I need to show up. And not just with one guy, as a unit, not just the tackles with the ends. Like, we put in some great work, and I've got the tape to say, man, we've improved. This week the challenge will be, hey, I want to see it come Saturday, and more of it. It's probably the best way to say that.
Kelly, go ahead and wrap us up.
The way things worked out, their defensive coordinator here, Jason's a lot more multiple with like how he likes to do things. What kind of challenge is that for your coach, and how's that relationship built over the last 8 months with him?
It's been, first of all, man, he's a class act. He's fun to work with. And it is certainly very different from the last 2 guys I've worked with, but it's been a lot of fun. Like the players like it. It's a system. of, man, if you want to create havoc, if you want to be vertical, if you want to be multiple, if you want to create confusion in an offensive line, like what Boogie wants to do. So I've really, and everything's not all new, maybe the combinations of it, how we're doing it. There's so many little dynamics and intrinsic things that happen with it. It's been fun. I'm excited, and I think we've been hard blocked. So we'll see if we can make that come to life on Saturdays.